Hey everyone, welcome. Today, we're going to break down the AZ-900 certification. Think of it as your first big step into the massive world of Microsoft Azure. If you've been trying to get your head around what the cloud is all about, you are in exactly the right place. Let's jump in.
So you've been thinking about a career in cloud computing, right? But it feels a little overwhelming and you're just not sure where to start. Believe me, you're not alone. The AZ-900 certification was literally designed to be the answer to that question. It's the perfect on-ramp for your journey. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the absolute basics of the cloud. Then we'll dive into the core Azure concepts you need to know. After that, we'll decode the exam itself, talk about why it's so valuable, and then map out where you can go from here. All right, first things first. We have to start at square one. Because before we can even really talk about Azure, we all need to be on the same page about what the cloud actually means.
You know, at its heart, cloud computing is actually pretty simple. Instead of buying and managing your own physical servers in some back room, you're just renting them from a provider like Microsoft over the internet. That's it. And that one simple shift is what gives companies of all sizes this incredible speed and flexibility.
So why is everybody doing this? Well, for one, you get services that are always on and can scale up or down in minutes, not months. But here's the real kicker, the cost. I mean, think about it. You go from a massive upfront investment in hardware, that's what we call capital expenditure or CapEx, to a simple pay-as-you-go model. That's your operational expenditure or OpEx. You literally only pay for what you use. It's a total game changer.
Okay, now that we have that foundation, let's get into the core concepts you are definitely going to see on the AZ-900 exam. These are the fundamental building blocks that every cloud platform is built on.
So you're going to hear about two main models. First, there is the public cloud, like Azure. You're basically sharing the hardware infrastructure with other organizations, which makes it super cost-effective and scalable. On the flip side, you have a private cloud. This is totally dedicated to a single organization, giving them complete control and security over their data.
All right, next up, and this is super important, we need to understand how cloud services are delivered. It all boils down to these three models: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Getting these straight is absolutely critical for the AZ-900 because each one is all about who's responsible for what, you versus the cloud provider.
Let's make this easy with an analogy about getting a meal. Software as a service, or SaaS, is like just going out to eat at a restaurant. You just show up and enjoy your meal. The restaurant handles everything else. Think of services like Microsoft 365 or Zoom. They're completely managed for you. You just use them.
Now, platform as a service, or PaaS, this is kind of like using a meal kit delivery service. They send you the box with a ready-to-use kitchen and all the ingredients, but you still have to do the cooking. So for developers, this means Azure gives you the platform, but you're the one who builds and manages your applications on top of it.
And finally, infrastructure as a service, or IaaS. This is like renting a completely empty kitchen. You get the space, the servers, the storage, the networking, but you're responsible for bringing everything else: the oven, the pots, the pans, the ingredients. It offers the most control, but also the most responsibility.
Okay, with those concepts down, let's zoom in on the exam itself. What exactly is the AZ-900, and who should actually be taking it? Simply put, the AZ-900 is your official proof that you understand cloud concepts and you know how they apply to Microsoft Azure. And what's so great about it is that it's not just for engineers. It's designed for everyone, from people in sales and management to, of course, aspiring cloud administrators.
So, what's actually on the exam? As you can see, the biggest piece of the pie is understanding Azure's architecture and services. Right behind that is management and governance. And then those core cloud concepts we just talked about. This really shows that the exam is focused on applying your knowledge directly to the Azure platform.
So that's the what of the exam. But now let's talk about the why. Is it really worth your time? We went out and looked at what people who've actually taken it have to say.
This quote from a user on Reddit just hits the nail on the head. Certifications get your foot in the door. They get you the interview. Sure, experience is what lands you the job, but when you combine certifications with experience, that's what makes you a top candidate.
And here's another fantastic example. This user shows how the AZ-900 can boost the skills you already have. It's not just about starting from zero. It's about enhancing the experience you bring to the table to open up brand new doors. And wow, this really says it all. For this person, having certifications literally put their resume at the top of the pile.
In a competitive job market, that is a huge advantage. It shows employers you're serious and you have a structured understanding of their platform.
Now, the AZ-900 is an amazing first step, but it's just that, the first step. Let's see how this one certification can build into a full-fledged career path.
So after you nail the AZ-900 fundamentals, you can start to specialize. You move up to the associate level, like the AZ-104 for administrators. And that's where you build practical, hands-on skills for a specific job. From there, you can move to the expert level, like the AZ-305 for solutions architects, where you truly master your domain.
All right, we have covered a lot of ground in a pretty short amount of time, so let's just take a moment and recap the key things you really need to remember.
So what's the bottom line? The AZ-900 is your foundation. It's not just an exam, it's the entry point that gives you the language to talk about the cloud, it's the validation that shows employers you're serious, and it's the very first step on a clear path to growing your career.
After seeing the concepts, the real-world value, and the clear path forward, there's really only one question left to ask yourself.
Thanks so much for watching. If this helped you demystify the AZ-900, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers just like this one.